Okay.
What's going on, people? This is Elle Harris, and this is my lovely wife,
Elle Harris, Rasta Elle.
or Black Woman Elle. And today, what are we talking about?
Today
What's the name of this again?
Keepin It Lite.
Keepin It Lite. This is episode 4 of Keepin It Lite. And today, my wife had a great topic that she wants us to speak about. So she's going to lead this conversation. So, Elle, what is this topic?
I feel like since I'm leading, I should have brung us in.
Oh, you can.
What's going on, people? I'm Elle Harris, and this is my lovely husband,
Elle Harris.
All right, and so today we are going to talk about being loved incorrectly, or you loving me wrong. I like that better.
You love me wrong?
You loving me wrong.
Okay, so what does that mean?
So many people talk about the love languages and how important they are. And people take in the love languages selfishly, because what we end up doing is we end up loving people based on our love language.
Okay, and what's your love language?
My love language is gifts.
Okay.
So for a long period of time, when I first got married, or actually when we were dating, most of the things that I did was gifts, because that's the way I like to be loved. So I was giving that to you, thinking that it would be appreciated by you.
And my love language is acts of service and touch.
Just choose one for this one.
Acts of service.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And so what generally ends up happening is whatever you feel that your love language is, you generally love someone in that way. Instead of understanding that it's not about you loving them in that way, but it's about learning how to love them the way they need to be loved. So if Rashad's love language is acts of service, then I need to understand what that means. Like, what are things that I can do to show him love through acts of service? So what are some of the things that you like as far as acts of services?
I really just like when people do things for me that I don't have to ask for. And I know that sounds like something that I've seen like on, Instagram memes and stuff like that, but just knowing somebody enough where you know the things that they want already without having to, physically or directly ask them for it. So that's me. Like, if I'm having a rough day, the things that's going to get me in a better mood. Or if you know that I'm feeling anxious, or, got a lot of stuff on my plate, the things that will kind of mellow me out without me saying like, hey, do this particular thing that I like, or do this for me, or get this for me, because that's going to help my mood. So that's kind of how I feel.
Okay. So I think that how I learned that I was loving Rashad wrong is, in the beginning, when I would buy him things that I thought were like really great things, he wouldn't put any care into them. And
like what?
Like watches that he would break repeatedly. He has a Dolce & Gabbana watch. Where is that Dolce & Gabbana watch at today?
The black and white one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not sure what that's.
Exactly. And he's probably broke that watch.
That was a good watch, though.
3 or 4 times. And I spent like $400 on that watch.
Oh. Sorry.
No care. None.
Sorry.
But.
And look at the camera.
Who am I looking at? You?
No, you looking at it.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
So being that now I'm like trying to focus on the camera. But being that I loved him incorrectly, I was investing in the wrong things. And so here I was being frustrated by like things that I'm thinking are really good and are beneficial to him, and he doesn't care about it at all.
I did care.
A little bit.
Yeah, I care.
But it's not enough to keep up with it and make sure that it didn't break 3 times.
It was a plastic.
It wasn't plastic, it was rubber.
It was rubber. And rubber breaks. What?
Rubber breaks.
Rubber breaks. Tires break. Rubbers break. Like, yeah. They break. That's what they're supposed to do, break.
No, they don't always break.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a whole rubber purse and it's not broken. I still have it downstairs. He bought it for me and I have never broken that purse.
Oh, okay.
So it's all in the care. But moving past that, once you understand like I think it's very important to have those conversations, like you just stated, doing things. Now, I will say, as far as acts of service, sometimes with men, it can be a little complicated, especially if they are not very vocal and they internalize a lot of things, because you may be having a bad day, but it may not be seen.
Okay.
You know, so you may be internalizing everything and no one knows that it's a bad day for you and life is just kind of moving in. Now, you may, I feel like any woman that's truly in tune, or any guy who's truly in tune with their spouse, something's off.
Right.
But, to be able to pry, because men aren't always going to be so forthcoming on whatever's going on in their head. So having to sometimes pry to get that out can mislead you in, all right, this is probably one of those times where I should do something special. So maybe that can be your key. If you feel something just a little off, just finding a way to do something small.
Okay. So, all right, so you said that, your love language is gifts.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do then when you feel like you're giving your person, your spouse or your partner, their love language, but they don't seem reciprocal of that? How does that work?
Now, I'm going to bring this situation up, so don't take it personal, because he always does. But let's talk about my birthday, 2012.
Why should you keep going in the past?
Because I'm trying to give you an understanding of why it wouldn't be something appreciated.
Oh, okay.
So, when someone says their love language is gifts, that doesn't mean you just buy them anything. You have to buy them something that's significant.
But at one
Can
time...
I finish telling the story? You have to buy them something that's significant to them. Now, what happened is I had my first apartment in this area of Virginia by myself. And I did not want a TV in my bedroom. I said that repeatedly. All I cared about was having a TV in my living room, which I had. Well, Rashad thought it was a smart idea to buy me a TV for my birthday, for my bedroom. But here's the kicker. The TV was never really for me. It was really for his own benefit. So when he came over, he was able to watch TV. So no, I'm not going to be happy about something that's not for me when I've said over and over again, I don't want a TV. So what I'm saying is you have to be careful. Like, just because someone, like your acts of service could be, you love acts of service. If I say go get a wax, you're not going to be so happy about that.
What would I be waxing? My chest?
Mm-mm.
My balls? No. I might be down for it.
Whatever. But if I did something that was totally out of something that you wanted, it would just be weird. Like, it's not appreciated.
But you once told me, like, even if you said verbatim, even if I like gifts so much that even if you just came home and brought me like chocolate, I would appreciate that.
If it was a Snickers, yes. But if you want me
a payday
or Hershey's, I don't eat chocolate like that. There's only a certain type. So it's those things. It's like knowing the things that a person likes.
Okay. So once again, it goes back to being in tune with your person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, I think that...
What issues do you feel arise from this?
So this is what I think happens sometimes. I feel like there are times in relationships where one person isn't getting the love that they need and the way that they like love to be given to them. So what happens is they start loving the other person the way they want to be loved. So for instance, if Rashad isn't buying me any gifts or showing me love in that way, then I may start overly giving him gifts. Because I'm thinking like, well, maybe if I give him the hint of I'm getting gifts for him, then he's going to eventually start buying gifts for me.
I want to give her gifts now because she got me a gift.
Exactly. All wrong. So, and then what ends up happening is you're doing this and they're like, oh, okay, thank you. That was what Rashad was. Oh, okay.
That's not my voice.
It is.
So is it...
No, wait. So it's like, oh, okay. And then you get frustrated because it's like, I got him, but did he really, he took it, but does he really care about it the way that I would have cared if he did it for me?
Like when you got me a printer?
Yes. So I got him a printer thinking he had been complaining about not being able to print stuff out. I'm thinking this is a gift and an act of service. He kept complaining about not being able to print stuff, having to go to Office Max. So I just go to Office Max randomly one day and buy a printer.
And then you had to give it back.
No, I didn't. I gave that burner to Brittany.
You gave it to somebody.
Because it was sitting in the garage. So, you didn't want it.
That wasn't a big enough issue for me. So, to have to go to Max.
Again, that's the thing. So you're thinking that you're giving someone. So maybe it was the issue of mixing my thoughts of acts of service and a gift together. I should have just strictly kept it on. Maybe I should have just got you a gift card so that you can go print whenever you want it.
Yeah,
so in hindsight, now looking, could have did that. But at that time, I'm like, oh, this is going to be helpful for his business, you know.
Yeah, not so much.
No respect for my gift.
Not so much.
But that's what happens. So you start to invest in someone. You put so much energy into what you think you would want that you end up investing in the wrong thing. And so what do you end up doing? You're loving a person the wrong way. And then there's a frustration because now you feel like you don't spend enough time or you don't value me enough to pour into me the way I need to be poured into. And then that leaves the person feeling like they're not loved.
Sneeze coming on. Thank you. There was something else I was about to say. I forgot though. I ain't got it. You can keep on. I ain't got it.
So what do you think happens when you invest in the wrong love? How do you switch that?
To me, the way I switched it, to me, all right, so the way I switched it was, I don't know, I feel like I just started to become more in tune with who you are and not only the things that you like, but also how I like to give gifts. So for me personally, I like surprises. Like, I don't necessarily like surprises for myself, but I like to be able to give my wife a surprise. So there's been moments when I've been out of town and we'll stop somewhere and I'm like, you know what, Elle would appreciate this. But instead of me kind of like calling her and say, hey, what's your size? Or, you know, do you like this? Do you like this? I would like just go pick it up. So when I actually came home, you got a surprise waiting for you for something that I feel like you would like. So I feel like that worked for me. That I feel like was a love language that worked all the way around. So I feel like it's something that you would enjoy, but it's also something that I actually enjoy giving to you.
And what happens when your wife doesn't like surprises?
But you do.
I don't like surprises.
You do like surprises. So,
I hate surprises.
So when you wake up on a Sunday and you're just chilling, you're like, you know what, I'm just chill here, and then your husband comes on with something that you actually enjoy. I feel like people don't like bad surprises, but I feel like if it's a good surprise, if you just woke up and like, you know what, here's $1 million, you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. This is a great surprise. Mm-hmm. People don't like surprises where it's like, oh, I'm gonna bring you. It's Tuesday, and now you're going to be around all the people that you hate in the world. Like, that's a bad surprise. But people love good surprises. So I try to surprise Elle with stuff that I feel like she will like. And so that I feel like that gives her something that she enjoys, but it also gives me something that I actually like doing. Because if it's not a surprise, once you take a surprise element out of it, it kind of takes away some of the lust of it.
For you?
Well, for me, yeah.
So that's where it goes back to what we were just saying. That's a selfish way of giving. Because now you're making it about yourself. Instead of making it about the person. Like, oh, I like this, let me add this.
Why can't the element be like twofold, though? Why can't it be something?
Why you just can't love a person the way they like to be loved?
I'm getting you something that you like and you enjoy.
And you're also getting
but presentation,
your own box off.
Yeah, but presentation-wise, it's something that I actually enjoy.
I don't agree with it.
But you actually enjoyed your last birthday where everything was a surprise.
I'm still tired from my birthday.
But you enjoyed it, though.
And
you enjoyed it, right?
I accepted.
You enjoyed it, right?
Are you gonna let me finish?
You enjoyed
talking?
it, right?
Are you gonna let me finish?
Did you enjoy it? It's yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
No. A yes or no? No. Mm-hmm.
My birthday was very nice.
She told me it was the best birthday she's ever had.
It was.
Okay.
But you know what I love the most? Was the time spent with you. I could have taken away all the other elements.
Okay.
That was my favorite part. But I think that I did love the part of being able to meet with all of my friends, because I hadn't seen anyone in like months, anytime this year. So it was really great, but I was also very tired.
So that got you what you're looking for, but also allowed me to get my proverbial rocks off, because
Ooh, fancy.
not really, not T.I. word. But allowed me to get my rocks off because I got to present it in a way that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win situation.
Why do you feel like you have to win though?
Because I feel like when you keep doing something for somebody, and there's always going to be some type of win that you get out of a situation. Even if it's just seeing that person's reaction to
Or
it.
send them happy?
Yeah. And sometimes if you're with somebody who doesn't show emotion all the time, you don't really get that satisfaction out of it.
Yeah.
So you have to find ways of saying like, all right, well, she's not necessarily showing that she's super excited about what I just did, but if I do it this way, then I still get something out of it. Because if you keep doing something for somebody and you're not getting anything out of it, sooner or later it's going to make you feel like, why am I continuing to do this? And then you're going to stop, and then nothing happens.
But do you feel like during the times where you didn't get anything out of it, you may have missed the mark?
Possibly, but even with that, I feel like there's a way of kind of presenting that or saying that in a way that it makes me want to keep going, getting better with it.
Okay.
But if you just say, if I went out of
So even if I say, don't ever buy me a TV again,
I wouldn't buy it to you.
Or if I say, so this is something that you've done, I think this is a way that you really changed. Because at first, some of those gifts were not good.
Okay.
But I think the way that you changed, and I really like this. Well, I like it a little bit because sometimes I be wanting everything. But then you start like asking me like, oh, what are 10 things that you would want for your birthday? If I ask you 10, I want all 10. But I think that really helped because it took away from like, oh, good, you didn't get me something that I would not like at all.
Right.
Or
I'm not good with the actual gift portion of it. I feel like I'm great with the presentation element of it. So yeah. But back to what we were saying before, like I know friends who say, feel like they went out of their way to get their wife something, and then the reaction or response was like, okay. And it's something that they probably really wanted, but it's just like, and so it kind of defeats the man or defeats the person who's giving the gift. Like, yo, why am I going out of my way or spending all this money when the reaction is meh?
Well, let me just say this to the camera. If I get this Chanel bag for my graduation present,
what you gonna do?
I am going to lose my mind.
What you gonna do for your
I
king,
will
though?
never be mad. Whatever he wants. Whatever he wants.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you to that too. All right. Anything else you got on this?
No, I would just say I think there has to be a balance. Like I get what you're saying as far as the feeling of like, even though you're giving to someone, like kind of feeling good about that too. Because I think like one time we went to, I surprised you went to go see Kanye West and Jay-Z.
Oh, matter of fact, I was about to bring that up. So how would you feel if you got me those tickets to that, and then I just like, you're like, hey, I got this, even though knowing that's like one of the greatest gifts I ever got. You gave it to me, and I was like, oh, okay. You're like, I feel like you would feel away.
Well, okay, so I think it was a mixture. I think you were really excited about the idea of seeing Jay-Z and Kanye together, but you weren't so excited about the concert. Because I already know how you feel about being in like large spaces. So I can tell you was kind of uneasy, but you were still, like, if we didn't go, you wouldn't have been mad. So it wasn't still that 100% like, yes, I got him, but it was still, because like, I like that. I do like that.
Okay.
I've had some pretty great. I'm actually kind of winning out here in birthdays. You're coming up. You're coming up close. I give it to you. You are.
Okay.
But right now I'm winning.
Okay.
But I think that just knowing, like, you know, I knew those were parts that you didn't necessarily care about, but I was like, what an experience it would be to hear niggas in Paris 5 times in a row.
It was actually like 10.
And it was the greatest.
Yeah, it was great. And the white couples that was just like, I wish we could have made that into a photo.
Probably should.
But yeah. But I feel like if you would have got me that gift and I was just like real, like disinterested in it, you'd have been like, why am I going out of my way to like do this? And it was like on that.
Got my money back.
But yeah, you would have felt like you felt the way. So that's how I feel like a lot of guys feel when it comes to like really going out of their way and giving like the perfect gift or gesture.
But even like you just said with one of your friends, they got somebody something that they got their mate something they really wanted, and then they were just kind of like, But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's their love language. Like, you can really want this camera lens that's coming out. Maybe that's not a good example because you'd probably be happy.
The new Canon R5 is coming out soon.
You may really want a pair of sneakers that you saw. I mean, that's not your thing. You're not really big into like getting sneakers. So if I got them, it's like, oh, thanks. But it's not like, yes, I really needed this. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful. Like you have this expectation of someone being like over the moon happy for something that they wanted. But is it something that's going to change their life? Probably not, especially if it's not the way that they want to be loved. So you have to be careful. You set yourself up for failure when you're doing stuff and you're thinking like, just because someone really wants something, I really want to get no, I would be happy about that.
Get what?
Get the floors done.
Oh.
I'm weird. I care.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something I would be that way with. But I can't. But I understand, like, you have to be careful in thinking that just because someone really wanted something, it's going to change the way, that they feel. Aries is really trying to get in this video.
Yeah. All right, cool. I think that's a perfect place to wrap up this conversation. Anything else you have to say?
No, just learn to love each other. Have the conversations about love and what that looks like. It's just very important because when a person don't think about it. When a person starts to feel like they're doing something and they're not being loved, then they feel like you don't value them enough to learn about them. And their love language may change. Like Rashad was once acts of service fully. Now that has transformed. So it could change. I think I'm kind of becoming an acts of service type person too. So I think your love language can change and you have to be okay with having those conversations. It's not like we tell people to talk a lot, but you really should talk a lot.
Yeah, that's the person that you're with, so you should talk with them. Who else would you talk to?
People talk to their friends about the issues that they have and the lack of love. And
guys don't give good advice, so.
Stop telling your friends your business.
All right.
Let's see her.
All right, well. Once again, this is Keepin' It Light. I'm Elle Harris, and this is...
Elle Harris. We got kind of heavy today, a little bit.
Not really.
Okay, well, we're still light.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.